Hey, welcome to another edition of the Take One SpoilerCast. Like I said, I'm going to do my spoiler reviews in a podcast form. So, yeah, here you go. I did one last year. I only put up one. I'm trying to do a little bit more. I'm trying to have more videos and all that stuff out. But I did one last year with Suicide Squad. Go ahead, check that out. It's all in the link in the description below. Everything is in the link in the description below. But yeah. So this is a newer one, and this time around, I'm going to be talking about the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Split. Now, I don't have too much to say about this, so this is going to be shorter or whatever, these spoiler casts. Since I'm doing them by myself, unless I have somebody else, these are going to be really short. They ain't going to be an hour long or nothing like that, 40, unless, I have a lot to say about a movie. But, to get all that out the way, let me get right into it. This is a movie that was part of my top 10 most anticipated list of 2017. The link is in the description below. Check that out. It's a lot more movies on there. This is actually the first one that came out that was part of that list. And so, actually, like I said in my review, this is one of the movies that I was looking for. This is a M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out and it looked highly interesting. It seemed like it was going to be so good or whatnot. And M. Night Shyamalan has been in a rut. Before The Visit, he's been putting out movies after movies that was just like, or whatever. Just by the general public. And just long story short, The Visit was a resurgence, and this one, yeah, it is a resurgence of M. Night Shyamalan. He went back to his roots, and this movie I really did enjoy. If you've seen my my regular review, my non-spoiler review, you already know my feelings for it, so I don't have to sit here and wait to the end or whatnot. But yeah, just to get into it, this movie was good. Like I said, I did enjoy the acting. Like I said before, the one standout of it was James McAvoy as Kevin. Kevin, what was his middle name? Kevin something Crumb, or something like that. But I liked the way it was structured because it didn't take too long to get to where it needed to be. It was like you got a little introduction to the characters or whatnot. You understand that this girl, the main character, she was weird, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. That she was just like, just kind of like this weird person or whatever. People just perceived her as being weird. And so you got this introduction to her and her, I ain't gonna say friends, but these girls that, whatever. And then it slowly get into it where, the guy comes up, James McAvoy comes up behind her friends or whatever, her associates. I don't know. I'm gonna just say friend from right now. I'm gonna just say friend for right now. He catches her friend, father or whatever, and then in the back or whatever, knocks him out, and he proceeds to kidnap them. And the thing is what I said, I don't know if I believe I said it up in my review, was that certain things in this movie, it was just, I don't know, it was like the way they reacted to certain things, certain characters, the way they reacted to certain things was just kind of like, why would you act that way in that type of situation? Like, why wouldn't you act a certain type of way, And it just, I don't know, like, but with M. Night Shyamalan, he has weird characters. Like, literally, if you go back and you look at all of the characters in his movies, they have weird personalities. They have things that, was wrong with them or whatever the heck, but they all kind of act the same and it's weird. And so we got a little bit of that flavor up in there with the main character. And it just shows. Because when James McAvoy got up in the car, she just kind of stood there. It was like she was just, like a T-Rex based on movement. If I don't move, he won't see me, And it was just kind of weird. Like, why would you act like that? If a guy comes up in the car that you're in, sprays your friends in the face, knocking them out, why in the hell would you sit there and just not try to open up the door. You know, I mean, she did. Don't get me wrong, she did. But why wouldn't you move fast enough? As soon as you saw him, like, I literally would have been bam, bam, you know, just bust out that door. You know, I would have made a commotion. Even the girls in the back, they were just like, you know, I mean, I could get they were caught off guard. But at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't you just, you know, try and, you know, get out? Why wouldn't you react in a, you know, a panicky type way? And that was one of the things that kind of threw me off. I know I'm going to be going back and forth. I already gave you the good and the bad about it or whatever in my initial review. So I'm going to go back and forth with the good and bad. So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that threw me off. Even just when he took the 3 girls to the basement or whatever that at the bottom of the zoo. Like I said, this is a spoiler, so I'm gonna talk shit. You know, I'm gonna like reveal stuff. If you haven't seen this, you know, I don't know why you're listening to this. This is a spoiler cast. This is in the title. But in any case, yeah, they were just acting a certain way. And I can get at that point them acting in a way where they don't they trying to like figure out what to do and trying to react to that. So I can give them that. But just in the beginning of how it all began, it just kind of threw me off. Like, why wouldn't you try to just, you know, whatever, get out of there? But yeah, to get back to the acting, yeah, James McAvoy, he killed it. He killed it. And the thing is, I could tell even by the trailer that he was doing a good job. And James McAvoy is one of them actors that I am kind of looking out for. You know, to anybody who has been like watching my channel from the beginning up in 2015 is when I started. It's like I'm just now really kind of getting more and more into this movie thing. So if you ask me, I don't have a favorite actor. I don't have a favorite director. I don't have a favorite actress. You know, I might have favorite movies and this and that, favorite genre. But I'm kind of like getting more into the realm of, you know, yeah, this is an actor that I really like seeing. But there is no particular actor that brings me to the movie theater. But James McAvoy, he is a person that I'm really interested in. If he's in a movie, I'm like, yo, I want to see this. You know, I'm really interested to see it. I didn't see the Victor Frankenstein movie he was in last year, but I mean, I still have plans to watch it. I've heard that it wasn't that good, but I still have plans to see it because he is a good actor. I enjoy him in the X-Men films, no matter what you thought about it, whether you loved him, hate him, or whatever. I thought that he was really good in it. And so it's like he's one of those actors where I do want to see more of him. If he's in another movie this year and it looks good, I want to see it. I want to see more of his acting. And this one, he killed it. From just even like playing a little kid, you know, even playing the girl, like the woman Patricia. I'm trying to remember these names. I should have went on the internet or whatever, but this is right off the top of the head. Like like him just portraying the personality of Patricia. That was crazy. Like, I like his portrayal of that woman. It's like he didn't go too far out. He was just portraying this woman that is just a lady who's you know, just kind of like, you know, proper and all that stuff. And I liked it. Not in a homo type way, but just how he portrayed it. And even just how he portrayed the other personalities. Like I said, the 9-year-old kid, I forget his name, Hedwig or Herwig or whatever. It was a weird ass name. But even the other personalities, like I said, the names escape me. And I know I could stop the recording and look up the names, but it's whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Including like one of the main personalities that was working right beside Patricia, that the OCD guy, and it just, I like how he portrayed each one. And it's like I said, he disappeared in this role. Like, you don't, after a while, you don't see James McAvoy. You see Kevin Crumb. You don't see, you know, this actor. You just see the character. And that's what I enjoyed about this movie, was his acting. It was crazy. And I enjoy every time he went into a different personality and how it was done. Like, M. Night Shyamalan had a winner with this. This is like a good concept. I'm sure it has been done in a similar way before with a TV show or another older movie or whatever. But yeah, this the way it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, I liked it. You know, a lot of his style and directing with the older movies, like I said, I mean, I don't know, like I had to rewatch them and, you know, kind of like really focus on it and pay attention. But I haven't really been a fan of the way he does things, the way he shoots certain shots and all this stuff. But this one, I like the way it was shot. I mean, it looks good, as well as just the direction in it. Just how everything went from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And it was so crazy. And I enjoyed the therapist that he went to talk about the personalities. I enjoyed that. And even just knowing, even just like the information that she was giving with her colleagues and letting her know about, you know, certain people with split personalities. What they a lot of times they have a personality that thinks vastly different than the other one. That, you know, they don't know exactly what the other one is doing. And then it's like one personality right with the right hand, the other personality can write with the left hand. And then it's like one person can bring out both personalities at the same time, where they're writing with both hands. And, you know, they're able to write, like literally, not one is kind of like sloppy, but, you know, actually able to write with both hands at the same time, and both, you know, in like, you know, their own handwriting. Like, I found, like, to me, that was crazy. To me, just to know that knowledge. I mean, even though it's a movie, I don't know if it's fact. I haven't looked up this stuff. But to me, just that information just intrigued me. You know, I like stuff like that. So, yeah, everything just around James McAvoy's character was so good. What else? Yeah. I'm sorry, I gotta look at this stuff. Oh, yeah, and I like the character development. I mean, like I said in my initial review, it caught me off guard because I'm not a big fan of you know, going back and forth with certain, like, with past, present, unless it's done good. This one, when I saw that they were doing that, I'm like, oh shit, here we go again. And, you know, and with M. Night Shyamalan, a lot of times you don't know what's going on until it's the end. So I was just like, I'm gonna roll with it. And, you know, I just took that as a negative, you know, going back and forth. I mean, it was kind of intriguing. And as it got further, I got kind of more disturbed by it because of her uncle. Basically, Anya Taylor-Joy's character. The names escape me. You guys know what I'm talking about. The main character. How it was alluded that her uncle would rape her when she was younger. And it just, that disturbed me. That angered me. Me having a child, you know, not a girl, but a boy. That just kind of angered me, and I'm just like, oh Lord. And I know they did. I'm glad that he didn't get too graphic with it, but it was just, as it was showing more of a story, I guess you got kind of more of an understanding of why she is the way she is. Because at first, like I said, it threw me off with the way she was acting, and it was like, I just took that as like, you know, M. Night Shyamalan thing, because a lot of his actors in his other movies, the characters are weird just in the way that they talk, interact with people, and all that stuff. And I was like, I just took that as a trope. Like, that's M. Night Shyamalan. It's an M. Night Shyamalan character. But once you got to know her character and her background and some of the stuff that happened to her, it's like you kind of more of understood her and why she acts the way she is, because that type of stuff can psychologically damage a person as they get older. So I kind of like, I like the aspect of them explaining why she's acting like that, instead of like, oh yeah, the character is just acting like this. I like that whole aspect of it. And like I said in the beginning, like, it just kind of threw me off with going back and forth. But once it got to the end and it paid off within the last reveal, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, it made sense. Like, I just threw all the negativity out the window. Okay, I'm like, I followed it. I had my mind open. I didn't discard it or whatever. But at the same time, once it got to that end, I'm like, yo, okay, I feel it right now. That was a setup. All that was a setup to this end result, and it paid off. And I love that about it. And then also just getting into the character development with Kevin, with the character Kevin. I like it. I mean, it didn't do too much, but you get bits and pieces from the therapist, what she was saying, and then you got little visuals or whatever going towards the end, and just you start to learn about this person and what he's been through. And so it makes sense that like he developed these personalities, I'm guessing based off of his trauma during his childhood. And I like how M. Night Shyamalan did that. It wasn't too much, it wasn't rushed. It wasn't like beating you over the head, but at the same time it was settled. That way when it came down to the end result, everything just wrapped up together perfectly, and I love that. And one of the things that I forgot to mention in my initial review, which I should have, the humor in this. One thing that I didn't truly like about The Visit is that some of the humor was good, but then a lot of the other humor seemed like it was forced. It seemed like it was just going, like they was just, like he was just trying to make you laugh, you know. In this one, the humor was so settled. That's what made it funny. I mean, it wasn't laugh out loud, but, you know, I found myself just kind of like, you know, just smiling, just entertained by some of the stuff, like the child earwig or whatever his name is. One of the personalities that Kevin was playing, or, you know, James McAvoy was playing or whatever. I enjoyed that. Little humor, and, you know, just thrown, and it wasn't too much. It was just thrown throughout the movie to where you got a little bit of excitement out of it. In this movie, it's not a horror film. I wouldn't even call it a horror. It's more of a thriller. Yeah, just kind of like a thriller. A drama thriller, whatever. And it is creepy. Don't get me wrong. Once it gets towards the end, it gets a little bit more creepy. And I did like that about it. I did like it. It was creepy. It wasn't scary, but it was creepy. But like I said, the humor was good. I liked the way it was done. It was settled, and it was done perfectly. I loved it. Just kept it like that. And I'm about to get to this last part, which is one of the big things that made me leave the theater smiling. Like I said, everything leading up to it, of just the past, present, the backstory of like of Kevin Crumb, and then, you know, the girl, whatever her name is, and just how their stories kind of like are similar in a sense, not in the sense, but, you know, they both gone through pain. She has been abused as a child all the way up to, as we find out, as now, you know, she's still being abused. And that's the reason why she's acting like that, of course. And then Kevin Crumb, you get the reason why he is the way he is. And so, the twist. Hold on, first of all, before I even get to the twist, I want to get to the beast. I mean, give it to me. I was over expecting, if that's even a word. I was expecting more. I thought he was going to turn into a mutant type creature, but I mean, I guess that was just overthinking it, wanting to see a lot more. But at the same time, I was satisfied with the beast and like basically the lore of the beast amongst the personalities. I love that. Just saying that, like, oh, this is a beast that's been lurking in his body or whatever, and that personality is ready to come out. And then it's like the beast is like, I guess you can say in a sense, is superhuman. I love just that lore of the beast throughout the personalities, that the other personalities are scared of the beast, but yet at the same time they look at the beast as like a savior. I love how that was done. And getting into that, I was satisfied with the end result with the beast and how he was kind of portrayed and how it was during out the whole movie and all that stuff, and how it ended up with like him looking at her scars and seeing that, like, oh, you've been hurt. Rejoice in it, because it only makes you stronger. And that I do like about it. I mean, I was kind of thrown off a little bit, but at the same time, I did like it. And I was thinking, like, where's the twist? Where's the twist? You know, like up in Robot Chicken, what a twist. I was looking for the twist. And to finally get to the twist, I want to say that I guessed the twist. As I'm watching the movie, as they were explaining the beast, and, you know, as she was shooting the beast with the shotgun and he was coming and all this stuff, and he just seemed superhuman, I'm just thinking, like, back to, and I'm glad I watched Unbreakable. I'm glad I watched it. Not recently. I mean, I watched it like a year or so ago. I'm glad I did, because I wouldn't have gotten this. I wouldn't have. But, like, I'm glad I watched it, because when they were talking about the beast and him being superhuman and, you know, this and that, he gets stronger and all this stuff, I'm just thinking, I'm like, that sounds like Unbreakable, you know, because that has to do with a superhuman type guy, and, you know, it has to do with, like, the superhero kind of genre. I mean, the movie itself isn't a superhero genre movie, but at the same time, it got me reminiscent of that. Real reminiscent of it. And so I was just thinking, like, man, it would be cool if M. Night Shyamalan went that route. But then I just kind of shrugged it off. But then when the mid-credit scene popped up, and then you saw, once they was talking about, like, oh, remind me of that guy who blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, Mr. Glass. And then you see the woman kind of back up. You see Bruce Willis, and he's like, Mr. Glass. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I knew it. I was freaking out. Like, literally, I was freaking out in the theater. I don't care who saw me, like, geeking out about it. And then it ends off with that. I'm like, yo, oh my God. That's what got me more excited to see. What got me more satisfied with this movie was just that one scene. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Mr. Glass, like, I guessed it, like, I gotta stop doing that, because there's been times where I would watch a movie and I would guess what it is. I would guess the ending, and I would just kind of shrug it off, and I'm like, man, they're not too bold to do that or whatever. Not even just thinking in those words, but I was just thinking, like, that'd be cool, or whatever, and just shrug it off. And then I end up being right. One of the other movies I could say that I had that mentality was Now You See Me, the first one. Still haven't seen the second one, but the first one. And I was just thinking midway through the movie, like, it would be crazy if they went the route of, and like I said, this is a spoiler review, but I mean, this is for another movie, but spoiler if you haven't seen Now You See Me, the first film. But I was just thinking, I'm like, man, it would be crazy if, not even just particular this movie, but a movie that had something similar to the way it was going, that it had the person that was going, the main character that was going through all this stuff, that was being embarrassed and all this stuff, was the person orchestrating it, but they were just fooling everybody that they wasn't. That would be the ultimate deception. And I shrugged it off. And then when the movie came to the end, and it came to the end result, and it showed that Bruce Banner, that Mark Ruffalo's character, the person that was basically being embarrassed throughout the whole movie with magic, was the person that was orchestrating every single thing, but he was just basically deceiving everybody. Even the magicians, the four horsemen, they didn't even know. I'm just like, why didn't I stick with that? And then it's the same thing with this movie. I guessed it, but I shrugged it off, because I'm thinking, like, nah, he couldn't go that route. But yet, that's the route he went, and I was super excited. This movie it wasn't the best movie. But as far as a January movie or M. Night Shyamalan movie, or however you got it, this was a good movie. This was I wouldn't even go around and saying a great movie, but yeah, it was a great movie. Now, you know what? I'm gonna just say it was a really, really good movie. Because, put it like this, if it wasn't for that twist at the end, I wouldn't have had a smile on my face. Not saying that the movie wasn't good, because I did enjoy it. I was still, even without that, I still would have recommended it, because it was a good ass movie. But at the same time, I was just thrown off with the ending. But I think that was more having to do with, M. Night Shyamalan having a twist at at the end of a lot of his films, and so it's like, if that was just the twist, I guess you could call it, I was just like, yeah. But since that was the twist with the whole Mr. Glass and the connecting to that movie, unbreakable, it made it a little bit more special. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Wasn't a great movie, but it was a good ass movie. Good ass movie. And like I said, it's worth 2 tickets. I'm not here getting rating because I've already gave my rating on it, and it still stays the same. You know, I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. So yeah, I mean, it still stays the same. It wasn't the best, but it was a good ass movie, and highly recommend. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Obviously you have, because you're listening to this, but if you haven't and you just don't care about spoilers, go see the movie. I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but check it out. And this SpoilerCast actually went a good little length. I didn't think that I was going to have too much to say about this, because like literally I didn't have that much written down in notes. But yeah, this actually was a good little length, a little under 30 minutes, so I'm good. And with that said, this concludes this Take One SpoilerCast of Split. I know you guys seen it. What did you guys like about it? What was the best and worst parts of it? If you care, put it down in the comment section below. Everything is in the link from the social media, all the links to like the other videos. I got a top 10, the most anticipated list. If you want to check that out, as well as a podcast, the Take One podcast, talking about all the other movies that I am anticipating this year. So go ahead and check that out. That's a good listen to. As well as I have check out my other movie reviews. I'm going to have more uploaded throughout the weeks. I'm going to try and put out a lot more content, but you know, I'm juggling life, work, and you know, all this stuff, but I'm trying to put out as much as I can. So, like I said, with that said, that ends it, and I will catch you guys later. Until the next spoiler. Peace.